Okay, I had a bit of a disconnection right here. That is all good. As I was saying, the first partial is going to be at the 50% level. So pay close attention to the 50% level. That is right here. That is where we are going. And I would recommend taking the New Zealand dollar as a trade for this New York session. Right? Even if it stops you out, still look for a buy. Just wait for a rejection on the 15 minutes time frame, then you look for another buy. Okay, so with what I'm showing you, even if price stops you out, just wait for another re-entry or wait for a reversal on the 5 minutes or the 15 minutes, and then you're gonna look for a continuation to the upside. All right. Okay. And another trade that we discussed was the Aussie card and then the New Zealand card. So New Zealand card, we are looking for a move to this down candles low, then this high. Aussie card, we're looking for a continuation to the upside. I think we might be coming up here and then this equal high. All right, so look for buys only. Use the down candle. I think this was the last down candle. We pulled back to it here. Or if you bought there, you could still be holding it and expecting a continuation to the upside. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry for that. I had an emergency call. Okay. So yeah, we can use the H4 down candle and like I said, just look for continuation to the upside. So yesterday, when this candle formed, that candle's entry, if you're still in it, then your stop loss is there, you're still good to go. Okay, so we are looking for a continuation to the upside. Now the same thing applies to the New Zealand card, as I mentioned. The other trade that we're still holding on to is the Australian Euro Aussie. We are looking for a run for the previous week low. Now that is the, like, quote unquote, the target for me for the week. I'm not looking for like a further continuation. Once we take out this low here, that's it for me. I'm not looking for anything beyond that. Okay, so yesterday I did manage to mark out fair value gap that happened, I think, here during the Asian session. I did mark it out around 2 a.m. this morning, early hours in the morning, that they might retrace back to it. And then you can see London came back to it and then boom, rejected. This level here can be, let me leave the first trade, and then this level here, and then moving lower. All right, so I'm expecting a move here and then down. If we can pull back to it, okay, that's the only level you're gonna look for the trade, and then you're gonna attack this low. I think this will be a day trade. You can leave something on because ultimately this is where we are going, but for today, if we get this trade, this is the target, that New York session low and previous day's low. All right, so that is that for the Euro Aussie. I think this has been a very, very good trade so far this week, in my opinion. So let's see how far we can take this trade too. Okay, let's see how far we can take this trade too. Okay, I think that would be all on the currency side. So let's go to gold. Now gold, we've managed to reach for the 3,304 level. 3,304 level, right? And I'm expecting it to also go to 3,368 level. It just couldn't get to where I wanted them to before we go up, because yesterday I was looking for a run below Monday's low before they actually go up, but I was off a little bit. Not off, it just didn't do it, and then you can see they screamed up. Now entry could have been here, but I personally wouldn't have got in because I'll still be on the I'll still be under the impression that they will still likely come for this low, right? They will still likely come for this low. So why would I wanna take it here and then they come and take out this low before going up? So this move, personally, I wouldn't have got it, right? If they had taken out this low, then I would have been in it. So it's gone. If you are in, fine, great. That should be a target, and then the next one will be 3,368. So look for continuation to the upside. Crude oil, still nothing. I think the narrative is still there. Since Monday, we've just been consolidating. I want to run above previous week high, and I think I had mentioned that the best trade would be to look for a buy to go up there. If you're looking for a trade, you should be looking for a buy to go up there, and then once we get there, if they reject, then you look for sell, because it could continue going up till even this area here. It's 6709 level. All right, so yeah, let's look and see if they can push higher. Now they've created this down candle similar to this, similar to that, and then we've created one here, so we could be using that to take price to go up there and then even up there. Okay, all right, now we have about 7 minutes before the news event. Let me double check. We have 6 minutes and 6 minutes 18 seconds before the news event. So what I'll do is I'll stay on here for the news event, and then once the news is done, then we will transition to the cryptocurrencies. Okay, so I'm gonna stay here till the news event, and then after the news event we will transition to the cryptocurrencies. Okay, all right, so next up is ES. So ES, the same narrative. I'm expecting them to move up to the previous week high. Then after the previous week high, we will see what price is gonna do. So let's see, because we've not actually done much since the beginning of the week. If I go into the daily, you can see we've not done much. It's been indecisive candles throughout, and since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday has been trading down. I'm suspecting that they might push one candle up to take out the previous week high. It could happen today, so just be on the guidelines. Just be on your quote unquote alert mode if during the purple line, which is this one here, if we can run a low and then break up. Let's mark this area. Okay, so watch that area today. If they can run, break, buy to go up there. Okay, yeah, that looks good to me. It looks fantastic. So that is the business. Look for that. Okay, because it needs to go and attack previous week high, and this is a nice level that price can find support, even though they did touch it just a little bit during the London session. Okay, let's see. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what I'll be expecting this New York session. Okay, cool. So we have about three minutes. Okay. I want to wait till we finish the news event before we transition to the crypto. So, what we can do is just go back to the Euro Aussie. Let's look at something on the Euro Aussie. I want to bring some things to your attention. Okay, so Euro Aussie, right? On the 15 minutes. Okay, so pay attention to time. I think yesterday I spoke about time, and then order blocks and fair value gaps and breakers. PD arrays or variables. Okay, so during the London session, this was the variable that was created. Notice that it's right inside the time of the day. Okay, same thing here. Yesterday, right inside time of the day, nice fair value gap that was formed. Okay, and then the other day, nice breaker that was formed. Okay, notice the time, right? So same thing here, we have a nice breaker forming with a nice gap, time of the day. All right, these are good levels that you can expect reaction to come into the market. All right, so we have about 13 seconds. Let's see what the news event will do. Okay, so it seems the news event didn't do much. Okay, so CPI, core retail sales, dollar, red, high impact news doesn't do anything. Right, so probably they might be waiting for the CAD. They might be waiting for the CAD rate announcement. So all attention now shifts to the 245 CAD rate announcement. That is when maybe we might have some liquidity injection where the market will pick up volatility. So hang on tight, and then let's expect some volatility during the 245 time. That's GMT. Okay, now that is going to affect Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD, right? So what can happen is it's either they're going to send it up or they'll take it down to take out some stops and then send it back up again because it's bullish. Now on the let's go to the futures market to have an idea. Okay, so on the futures market, we do have Monday taking out Friday's high. Let me go to the weekly first. So weekly, we are trading at the breaker, this down candle prior to the move up, breakdown. That's where we're currently trading at. We took out previous week high and then we displaced down. Let's change it to the H4. So I'm trying to give you a heads up on what can happen with the rate announcement. All right, so that's a run above previous week high with a nice breakdown. So far they've gone above this gap, but this candle has a wick, so there might be gaps within it. Let me get rid of some of these things so I can have. There we go. So this will be a nice level for price to stop and then move back down again with the rate announcement coming. Okay, so with the rate announcement coming, price can hit this level and then drop down again. So let's see. What I would expect with the rate announcement is for them to drop. Now it can go up to make this candle a reaccumulation, but if you look on the daily, okay, they've managed to. Let me change these things to. Let me change it to my personal. There you go. And turn this thing on. Okay, now it looks better. You can see they've managed to trade through this fair value gap. Okay, so that is something important that has happened, right? So maybe the card with the news event can drop down to here and then inside this fair value gap. All right, so there is a high probability that they might send the card up. I'm sorry, they might send the New Zealand and the Aussie card up, including the Euro card and maybe I'll say dollar card as well. Okay, so but definitely we are looking at the New Zealand card and the Aussie card. So look for a buy on those two pairs. That's what I'll say. Based on what I'm seeing on the card futures itself, there is a probability, okay, because we are always trading probabilities. There's a probability that price might not. All right, there's a probability price might not go higher. And with that probability means with the news coming, they might send the New Zealand card and the Australian card up because it's looking to go higher. All right, so that's the business on there. So at 245, you can look out for those two pairs to give you some kind of movement to the upside. Okay, so now let's transition to the crypto market. Yay, we're here. Right, so let's go to AI16. So AI16, as I said, we are likely to come back for the previous week low, but I wanted them to go and attack the previous week high first. It looks like that is not happening yet, but I still have at the back of my mind it could do it. Now obviously we don't trade like we trade it on the currencies, so unless you are looking to trade in and out, then I'll say look for a sell to continue going down, because it looks like it might not go up here. But since we don't have any news event that can send it up aggressively to go and take out the high, with where we are now, with this gap here, with this up candle here, with this up candle here, it looks like it might not do it, and then they will go for the previous week low. So that's basically what I'll look for. Solana, it took out the previous week high, rejected, and I think yesterday I mentioned that we will be going lower, so look for the continuation to the downside. Bitcoin, same thing, we went up, we talked about this up candle, that they are likely going to hit that and then start going down. I like what we've done so far. We run it up, take it out, hit that, and then rejection. So a continuation to the downside. Ethereum is the only one that couldn't take out, which I think when I looked deeper they did. And if I zoom in, right, you see that it actually went above the previous week high with immediate rejection, and then so far this is where we at. So again, we're looking for a continuation to the downside. Hype, same thing. I would have wanted them to go and attack the previous week high first and then go down, but it looks like, and it's looking good so far. I like it. Okay, and I'll tell you why I like it. The market maker buy and sell models, right? On the lower time frame, when you are actually seeing them, you will initially will see either a run above a high first. So if I go to Bitcoin, right, we have a run above this high and then we break down. That will be the original consolidation. So what I'm saying is that you might have something like this. Then we distribute, then we distribute, then we distribute, then we reverse, and then we start going higher. Okay, this is the buy model. They'll buy it to go down, to go up. Now, there will be times that instead of it doing this, it will rather do that, which will leave equal high, but then it will be doing the same pattern. And then we reverse and then we go up. So that is what I think hype is doing. Hype is not going for the previous week high, so it's doing that, and now we've broken. So we will start doing something like this, this, and then we reverse and then we come back up again. Okay, so that's what I think hype is doing. Hype couldn't go for the previous week high, and looking at the lower time frame, it's consolidating, and then we just broke the consolidation here with this fair value gap. So we will start moving aggressively to the downside. Then XRP, that also failed to attack the previous week high. So same thing, we're looking for a continuation to the downside to attack the low, and then as usual expect a quick rejection from that low. Tatsuo, that also went for the previous week high, right, nicely, and then boom, rejection. So it's gonna break this, and then we expect them to attack this low again. And then finally Tatsuki, as long as this was there, they're gonna continue going down. If I go into the daily, this is the level. As long as this is there, it's gonna continue going down. And with what happened yesterday, rejection, that's what it looks like it's gonna do. We're expecting a continuation to the downside. All right, so that is that on the cryptos, nicely following the script. Everything is following the script, and if you can read the script, all you have to do is just be patient, let them take their hands, and then you go in. So if you are long on any of the cryptos, just be careful, because what I'm seeing is a move to the downside for now. And that move to the downside, based on currently the first initial move that I'm seeing, it looks like it's setting up a buy. So the move to the downside, we'll be here tomorrow and on Friday, and of course I'll be monitoring it over the course of the weekend. But how we proceed moving lower now will be key if I start seeing the pattern which I just described. So if I start seeing, for example, Bitcoin, this nice break, and then they distribute one more here, then I'm 200% convinced they're gonna come for this low, and then we'll be dropping. And based on how they come down, it's gonna give me more clues as to whether they're gonna reject it and start coming back up to attack this, and how it will be shaped on the daily. Because on the daily, even if we are moving like this, on the daily has to be printing obviously the buying pattern that we usually look for. So maybe this up candle, then we have one big down candle happening here, then we have a move up, and then big down candle, and then move up, then big down candle. And these down candles will just be the wicks. The move up that I'm talking about will just be the wicks moving lower, creating fair value gaps. Then once we attack this low, immediately we want to see them start coming back up. It might dip down into the levels that we talked about. Then we start looking for price reject. Once we see that on Bitcoin, then it's game time on all the other cryptos, especially, my heart is in AI 16, then XRP, then maybe Solana, and then the rest might follow. All right, so that is the business on the market for now. So hopefully you've got something out of it. Now we will be closing for today, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow, same time. But again, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Look for some of these high probability trade ideas on the foreign currencies, and then make your day better than sitting there waiting for the currencies. I'm sorry, the crypto market. Till then, adios.